Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 20th of March 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So watch the video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible because we need your support, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. Guys, you can download our application that named as Careers Cloud, and you can download with very simple method. Like you can go to the description box, we put a downloading link of this application. You can download in very simple method. And guys, after downloading, the first window will open like this, and you can log in with your Gmail ID, or you can say the Google ID. And after login, the first screen will appear like this, and by clicking on this first thumbnail, you can subscribe a current affairs. But first of all, what we are providing under the subscription or in the current affair PDF subscription, we are providing daily current affairs. In the daily current affairs section, we are providing three type of the sections. Like first is the theoretical and the detailed current affair of particular day will be provided to you in the form of PDF. Next is the all the theoretical current affair will be provided to you in the form of question and answer, and this is also provided in the form of PDF. And guys, you can test your knowledge or the daily current affair by this quiz. So it means the daily current affair section will go strong day by day. And guys, next is the weekly section, and in the weekly section, as same as the daily section, we are providing again the three sections. Like first is the theoretical and the detailed current affair of particular week, and you can revise these current affairs in the question and answer format of weekly. And next, you can test your knowledge that how much current affair you can retain like week wise. Next is the monthly current affair, and in the monthly current affair section, we are providing so many PDFs according to your convenience. Like first is the study PDF. It means the detailed and theoretical current affair of particular month will be provided under this PDF. Next, to revise this theoretical current affair, you can download this question and answer PDF. It means all the theoretical and detailed current affair will be provided to you in the format of question and answer so that you can revise again and again. Next, you will also get the pocket PDF to revise the current affair quickly before your exam. As the name suggests, its name is the pocket PDF. Next is the top 100 current affair. It means the best 100 current affairs will be provided to you in the format of question and answer so that you can revise best 100 current affairs of particular month again and again. So all these current affairs like daily, weekly and monthly are provided in Hindi as well and English as well. So you can see here, we are also providing the special current affairs like budget and economic survey current affairs section, and these current affairs are in the detail format and also in the question and answer format. We are also providing the banking awareness, and we are providing two sections under the banking awareness. Like one is the question and answer format of the banking and economic current affairs of particular month, like January 21 you can see here. Next is the banking and economic quiz. It means you can test your knowledge after reading this PDF in the question and answer format. Next is exam PDF. It means this PDF will cover the current affairs of particular months like January and February combined, and when the March ends, it will also add January, February and the March month. So it means when the month completes, it will added under this PDF. Next, we are providing the most important section here is the topic wise PDF. Like you can see here, apps and web portals of 2021 for the Jan and Feb month. Next, important days of 2021, books and authors of 2021. We are providing 20 type of PDFs according to the topic wise current affair, like national current affairs, international current affairs, obituaries, appointments. So all these current affairs section covered under the topic wise current affair, and we are providing 20 type of the PDF. And it is very important to revise the current affair quickly. Like for one exam, sports related news are very important. For one exams, appointments are very important. So you can just revise according to the PDF. Next is the state current affairs, and we are providing all the states and the UT's current affairs, so you can also get this type of the PDF for your state exam. And all these current affairs like special current affairs and the daily, monthly and the weekly current affairs are provided in English as well as in Hindi. So it is very beneficial for you. So you can download our application, that is Careers Cloud, and after downloading you can log in with your email ID, and after login you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. It means you can buy for 2020 alone, and you can also buy for 2021-22. It means for 2 years. But the price of both the subscription is very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. And if you want to buy 2020 subscription, like 1 yearly 2020 and half yearly 2020, then you have to visit our website, that is affairscloud.com/current affair. At that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount. You can use this code ASH10, then you will get definitely 10% extra discount on this minimal cost. So let's start today's current affair, that is the 20th of March 2021. But I am again requesting you guys, you have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel if you are new on this platform. So we are starting with our first section, that is the most important question section. Here is our first question. Indian Navy and which country naval force undertook passage exercise in the Persian Gulf under the Operation Sankalp? So the exercise itself is not important, like passage exercise is not important, because this exercise is conducted between India and so many countries like India and Vietnam, also known as the Passage X, or you can say India and USA, also known as the PASEX exercise or the Passage X, or you can say India and the Australia, also known as the Passage exercise. So passage exercise itself is not important, but you have to remember, if the examiner is asking that Indian Navy and which country naval force recently undertook passage exercise, then the answer should be Bahrain. So remember, the answer is Bahrain. But the most important thing under this question is this Operation Sankalp. So guys, remember about Operation Sankalp, because it was started by Indian government in 2019. It was started by Indian government in 2019 for ensuring the safety of Indian merchant ships throughout the Strait of Hormuz. This is very important, and this Strait of Hormuz is in between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. So guys, remember Operation Sankalp and passage exercise. And one thing you can remember about passage exercise, like passage or the passage exercise are conducted regularly by the Indian Navy with units of friendly foreign navies, visiting each other ports or during a special event at sea. So this time it is Bahrain. So guys, you can see here Operation Sankalp, Indian Navy undertakes passage exercise with Royal Bahrain Naval Force. And you can also see here, this is a Strait of Hormuz, and strait means it is connecting two water bodies or it is dividing two water bodies, then it is known as strait. And here is the Persian Gulf and here is Gulf of Oman, and the countries which belongs to the Strait of Hormuz, that is Iran, Oman and United Arab Emirates. And here this country is the Bahrain. So you can see in the like zoom mode, this is Bahrain. So from Indian side it is INS Talwar, and from the Bahrain side it is Al Muharrak. This is the name of the vessel, or you can say the ship. Main aim to enhance the interoperability and strength maritime cooperation and reassure safety of the diaspora. It means just to strengthen the relationship between two countries. And the PASEX highlights the partnership between the two countries to meet emerging maritime challenges. So especially it is between the navy of the two countries, especially the friendly countries like United States, Australia, Vietnam. So all the countries conducting navy exercise with India, and it is known as the PASEX or the passage exercise. So guys, you have to remember about Bahrain. Bahrain capital is Manama, 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 and currency is Bahraini dinar. And guys, recently you can recall one news about the India and the Kingdom of the Bahrain, that India and the Kingdom of Bahrain started the first joint working group in 2021 for the cooperation in the renewable energy. So guys, remember India and Bahrain for the renewable energy, because we have to achieve so many targets regarding the renewable energy, like 175 gigawatt till the year of 2022 and 450 gigawatt till the year of 2030, and especially the 40 gigawatt for the rooftop solar power plants. So guys, now we are moving to next question. What is the rank of India in the world most dangerous road study conducted by the international drivers education company Zutobi? So this company is not so much important, but you can remember just reading this, that Zutobi is an international drivers education company with courses in the United States, United Kingdom, Sweden, Australia, France and the Germany. It means it is a multinational company. So according to the study of this Zutobi, the most dangerous road of the world is in South Africa. So remember, it means South Africa was ranked first in the world most dangerous road study, and second country is Thailand. Third country is United States of America. It means that these three countries possess the most dangerous roads, and fourth rank goes to India. So examiner is asking about India, then answer is fourth, and the most dangerous road study is topped by South Africa, and the safest road is in Norway. So remember, safest road is in Norway. It means Norway has the world's safest road and topped in the world safest road study. And the second rank goes to Japan in the safest road study, and the third rank goes to Sweden. But you have to remember just the first, that is Norway. So you can see here South Africa was the world most dangerous road, India in the fourth place, and it is a study of the Zutobi. And you can also see here the study was conducted among the 56 countries, and Zutobi is an international driver education company, and it is one of the multinational company related to the driver education. And South Africa was ranked first in the world most dangerous road study, followed by Thailand, but you have to just remember the first. India's rank is fourth, and Norway is the world's safest road network. So remember this. And the 5 factors of the study are like estimated road traffic death rate, maximum motorway speed limit, seat belt wearing rate, like front seat or the rear seat also, road traffic deaths with alcohol, and blood alcohol concentration limit for the driver. And there are so other parameters, but you have to remember these study is related to the 5 factors, and the study is conducted by the Zutobi. So now we are moving to next question. Who became the first Indian paddler to qualify for the 2020 Olympic Games, like Tokyo Olympic Games, because which country is hosting the 2020 Olympic Games? That is Tokyo, or I mean we are talking about Japan, and due to COVID-19 it was postponed to 2021. And Indian paddler, we are talking about the table tennis. So answer of this question is, guys, B. Answer is Sharath Kamal. So remember, answer is B. An Indian table tennis player win over Pakistan player like Mohammad Rameez. The name of Pakistan player is Mohammad Rameez. It means he won over Mohammad Rameez in the Asian Olympic qualification tournament held in Qatar. So examiner can ask the venue of the Asian Olympic qualifier tournament. So remember, it is hosted by the Qatar. And Sharath Kamal, its full name is Achanta Sharath Kamal. That is the full name of Sharath Kamal. Achanta Sharath Kamal, who qualified, who became the first player or the first Indian paddler to qualify the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. And he defeated Mohammad Rameez of Pakistan. So you can see here Sharath Kamal became the first Indian paddler to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. Other players, like you can see here, Sutirtha Mukherjee, Manika Batra and G. Sathyan also qualified as the Indian paddler in the game of 2020 Olympic Tokyo Games. But first player is Sharath Kamal. So remember, all the four players qualified as an Indian paddler for the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, but first player is the Sharath Kamal, or you can say the Achanta Sharath Kamal. Now we are moving to the next section, and here is the next question. What is the rank of India in the market capitalization among world's top 10 nations as per the Bloomberg's recent data on market capitalization? Recently, we covered a question related to the Bloomberg's report, that maximum wealth gainer of 2021. Then answer of this question was Gautam Adani. But now we are talking about the market capitalization, and India rank is on the 8th, and first rank goes to the United States of America. It means the maximum market capitalization belongs to United States of America, and India's capitalization is 8th. But India's growth during the COVID-19 is so much, like 88% growth in the market capitalization. That is a huge. So you can see here pecking order, and it is India's growth, like 88% growth. And second is Canada, third is United States, and so goes. And total countries, they are conducting 10. And India leads in the market capitalization gains. If they are talking about the gains, then it is India. But if they are talking about the total market capitalization, then India's rank is 8th. And last year, India's rank was also 8th. So you can see here, India remained at the 8th position among the top 10 nations with a market capitalization of almost $2.8 trillion. This is the sharpest increase in aggregate market capitalization since financial year 11. It means we are talking about the 2010-11. And guys, remember, total increase is 88%. And what is market capitalization? How we are calculating the market capitalization? Like price per share and number of shares outstanding. So by multiplying this, we can calculate the market capitalization. And first rank goes to the United States of America. That is $45.83 trillion. But India's market capitalization is $2.8 trillion. But growth of India is 88%. That is the highest. And guys, remember, India's benchmark index like Sensex surged 78% so far this fiscal year and became the best performer among the top 10 nations. And guys, remember about Bloomberg's headquarters is in New York, United States of America. And who is the CEO of Bloomberg's? Mike Bloomberg. So remember, CEO of Bloomberg is Mike Bloomberg. Now we are moving to next question. Who is appointed as the Director General of National Security Guard? There are two questions basically. Two appointments are recently done by the center government. One is the Director General of the National Security Guard. Second appointment is related to the Director General of CRPF. So first we are covering the Director General of National Security Guard. Then answer is M.A. Ganpati. M.A. Ganpati. Remember, and he replaced S.S. Deswal. It means the former Director General of National Security Guard was S.S. Deswal, and currently they are appointed M.A. Ganpati. Now we are moving to next. Who is appointed as the Director General of Central Reserve Police Force? So these options are out. Now only two options left. Then answer is Kuldeep Singh. So he was appointed recently as the Director General of Central Reserve Police Force, and A.P. Maheshwari was the former Director General of Central Reserve Police Force. So guys, you have to remember the former and the current Director General of both the organization. One is the Central Reserve Police Force, second is the National Security Guard. You can also remember one important thing, like this M.A. Ganpati, who is appointed as the Director General of National Security Guard, was appointed for the year of 2024, till the year of 2024. But this Central Reserve Police Force Director General Kuldeep Singh is appointed till the year of 2022, till the year of, you can say the exact month even, that is for September 2022. But this is not so much important, just remember the name, that who was the former Director General, who is the current Director General of the CRPF and the National Security Guards. Now we are moving to the next question, but you can see the picture here. M.A. Ganpati appointed as the NSG chief and Kuldeep Singh to head the CRPF. You can also see in the next question that who became the Tanzania's first woman president. It is very important because recently Tanzania President Magufuli ji died, and who became the first woman president. Even I answered this question in the last session, and first woman was Samia Suluhu Hassan. So remember the name. He was the vice president of this country, but after the death of the president, he was elevated to the president. So remember Samia Suluhu Hassan. And last president was Magufuli, John Magufuli, who was the president of the country from 2016 to 2021, but recently he died, and she became, Samia Suluhu Hassan became the first woman president of Tanzania. And she is also the sixth president of Tanzania. Remember this. And remember about Tanzania. Tanzania's capital is Dodoma, Dodoma. And remember about currency, Tanzanian shilling. So she is the sixth president of Tanzania. This you have to remember. You have to remember the old president who died recently, that is John Magufuli. Moving to next question, you can see the picture of Samia Suluhu Hassan became Tanzania first woman president. This is most important question. This question will be asked by the examiner definitely. Now we are moving to the very important question section. Here is the first question. AIM, that is Atal Innovation Mission, signed statement of intent with which company to strengthen the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem with the cloud computing? So guys, the main objective of the Atal Innovation Mission is to empower school students with cloud computing skills and enabling entrepreneurs to build innovative education technology solutions on the cloud. And name of this web services company is Amazon Web Services. Recently, Amazon Web Services was in news because CEO of Amazon Web Services, like Jeff Bezos, stepped down, and new CEO was appointed, that is Andy Jassy. So remember, Andy Jassy is currently the CEO of Amazon Web Services. So you can see here, Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog collaborate with the Amazon Web Services to scale cloud skilling and accelerate innovation with education technology startups in India. So you can find two organizations. One is the AIM, second is the Amazon Web Services. So what is the work of Amazon Web Services? Amazon Web Services basically provide cloud related fundamentals to the students of Atal Tinkering Labs, and they will provide these skills at more than 7,000 Atal Tinkering Labs. It means infrastructure will be provided by the Atal Innovation Mission, or you can say the Atal Tinkering Labs, and all these skills will be provided by the Amazon Web Services. So you can see here, MOU is with the Amazon Internet Services Private Limited, which is the local legal entity of the Amazon Web Services, to strengthen the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem in India. So it is just just to empower the school students, because Atal Tinkering Labs basically established in the schools. So that's why it is to empower the school students with the cloud computing skills, enabling entrepreneurs to build innovative education system or the technology solutions in the cloud. So AWS or the Amazon Web Services Educate will introduce the cloud related fundamentals to the students at the Atal Tinkering Labs. It means the basic infrastructure will be used as provided by the Atal Tinkering Lab, and the facilities like education facility or the technical skills will be provided by the Amazon Web Services. And remember about the CEO Andy Jassy. And where is the headquarter of Amazon Web Services? Headquarters is in Seattle, Washington DC, United States of America. And guys, remember about Atal Innovation Mission. Who is the director of the Atal Innovation Mission? That is Raman, or you can say the Ramanan Ramanathan. RR. Raman, you can remember in very easy words. Headquarters is in New Delhi. Moving to next question. Chinar Day observed in Jammu and Kashmir on which day? So it is just to celebrate the Chinar trees or Chinar Bune. Remember, Chinar is also known as Bune in the Jammu and Kashmir. So, Chinar Day is celebrated across Jammu and Kashmir on the 15th of March 2021. So, it is special question for the Jammu and Kashmir students. And if you belongs to Jammu and Kashmir, please comment below the comment box. So you can see here this Chinar Day was celebrated across Jammu and Kashmir on the 15th of March 2021. So as a part of Chinar Day celebration, the Urban Forest Division of Srinagar planted the Chinar saplings. And these saplings are basically planted under the Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agriculture, Science and Technology in Jammu and Kashmir. So the government of Jammu and Kashmir was launched a drive to protect the Chinar trees, popularly known as the Bune, all across the Jammu and Kashmir. The department is also set to plant 200 Chinar saplings beside the 12,500 more saplings which shall be planted during the year of 2021. This is the target of 2021 year, that 12,500 more saplings will be planted as a full year target of 2021. They already planted the 200 saplings. Now we are moving to the next question, but you can remember about the Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant or the Lieutenant Governor is Manoj Sinha, and a very famous national park is there, Dachigam National Park. Moving to next question. Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, that is known as APEDA, signed a MOU with which organization to support and empower agri-entrepreneurs? So guys, the main focus is just to gain export potential of agriculture and processed food products manufactured by the micro, small and medium enterprises. It means just to boost the micro, small and medium enterprises which are related to the agriculture sector. And who will boost? That is APEDA, and second organization is National Small Industries Corporation. And guys, remember, APEDA is currently working under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and this National Small Industries Corporation is currently working under the Ministry of Micro, Small and Enterprises. So you can see here this APEDA and NSIC joins hand to empower agri entrepreneurs. It means under this memorandum of understanding, APEDA registered MSMEs. It means which MSMEs are registered under the APEDA will get access to the NSIC scheme. It means National Small Industries Corporation schemes, facilities, technologies and training from the National Small Industries Corporation. It means all the training, all the facilities will be provided to the MSME industries manpower by the National Small Industry Corporation, and to only those MSMEs which are registered under the APEDA. So you can see here, it is just to support and empower the agri entrepreneurs. Under the MOU, both APEDA and the NESIC will ensure cooperation in the area that focus on gaining export potential of the agriculture and processed food products manufactured by the micro, small and medium enterprises. It means all the skills, all the schemes, all the facilities, all the technologies will be provided by NESIC to those micro, small and medium enterprises who are registered under the APEDA. It is just to promote green and sustainable manufacturing technology for the MSME cluster. It means NESIC will provide that type of the training which will promote the green and sustainable manufacturing. So this is the function of the NESIC. So guys, don't remember about the APEDA and don't remember about NESIC. Just remember both the headquarters are in New Delhi. But in this news, you can recall the older news that is also related to APEDA and the third option, NABARD. That recently APEDA and NABARD signed a memorandum of understanding to address the key interest of the agriculture and allied sector for bringing better value of this stakeholder and implementing agriculture export policy. It is again for the agriculture export policy, but this MOU was in between APEDA and the NABARD. So this was the old MOU which was signed in the February 2021, but it was signed in December 2020. It was implemented in February 2021. Now we are moving to next question. Which country is building one of the world largest floating solar farms to promote the decarbonizing environment, or you can say to promote the green environment? And this country is, guys, Singapore. So you can also see here, Singapore, Asia's biggest per capita carbon dioxide emitter, is building one of the world largest floating solar farms as a part of its plan to reduce greenhouse gas emission. So guys, remember, it is just to reduce the greenhouse gas emission or to promote the decarbonizing environment. The solar power plant expands from the coast into the Johor Strait, which separates Singapore and Malaysia. So the most important geography question here is, and many students don't know about the Johor Strait. So we earlier discussed about the State of Hormuz, that is in between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, but now we are talking about the Johor Strait, and it is separating Singapore and Malaysia. You can also see in the picture that this is the state of Johor, and there is a Malaysia in the north and Singapore in the south, and this state is dividing Malaysia and Singapore. So remember this. The project is being built by the Sembcorp Industries, but it is not so much important. Just remember the name of the country, Singapore, and remember the Johor Strait. Now we are moving to the next question. World Sleep Day is annually observed on which day? And many students are smiling after reading this question. It is not just to promote the sleep. It is promote, or you can say it is just to create awareness about the importance of sleep and issues related to sleep, including the medicine, education, and social aspects. So that's why this day is celebrated on the 19th of March. But every year it is not celebrated on 19th of March. It is celebrated of 19th March 2021. But every year it is observed on the Friday before the spring equinox. So remember, equinox means equal length of day and night. So it will occur only when the sun rays are vertical on equator. So that's why it is known as equinox, and it is on the 22nd of March when sun rays are vertical on the equator. So that's why equal length of day and night happens, and it is known as the spring equinox on the 22nd of March. So before 22nd of March, the Friday is known as the sleep day, World Sleep Day. So that's why it is celebrated on the 19th of March 2021. So you can see here, World Sleep Day 2021, 19th of March. And what is the theme of this day? Theme is regular sleep, healthy future. Guys, remember, regular sleep and healthy future, and 8-hour sleep is very much necessity for your well-being. So guys, always be happy and complete your 8-hour sleep in a day. So it is very important. Now we are moving to the next question. Who launched Sahi Disha campaign to celebrate women's livelihood in rural India? So again, it is important for the women empowerment, or you can say the women livelihood, especially in the rural area. And this is launched by the United Nations Development Program with the help of the IKEA Foundation, IKEA Foundation. But you have to just remember the United Nations Development Program. Where is the headquarter of United Nations Development Program? Its headquarter is in New York, United States of America. So you can see here, UNDP launches Sahi Disha campaign to celebrate women's livelihood in the rural India. It means they will provide the skills, they will provide the jobs to the women, especially in the rural area, so that their livelihood income can be increased. So it is just to become the self-reliant, or to establish enterprises to become the self-reliant. And it is a program of 5 years. It is starting in the 2021-22. So remember, it is a program of 5 years. 5-year partnership between the UNDP and IKEA Foundation for the Disha initiative. And it is just to provide the jobs, livelihood, and to establish enterprise to become the self-reliant. And it is basically starting in the 5 states firstly. So you can note down these 5 states, but otherwise it is not so much important. Like Delhi NCR is there. Only Delhi is not alone here. Delhi NCR is there. Like North Capital Region is fully. Next is Haryana is there. Karnataka is there, Maharashtra is there, and Telangana is there. I am repeating, Delhi NCR whole, Haryana is there, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Telangana. These 5 states under which UNDP will implement this Disha initiative, and on the regular basis they will implement on the pan India. But firstly, they are implementing on the 5 areas because maximum rural livelihood is needed by these 5 states. So remember, so main target is to help 1 million underprivileged women in India to learn marketable skills and get income opportunities so that their livelihood can be enhanced. So it is just to help women to become economically self-sufficient, to provide better opportunities for their families and the future generations. So I already covered the United Nations Development Program, headquarters in New York. You can also remember the administrator, that named as ACHIM, ACHIM, ACHIM. Moving to next question. It is the important question section, and here is the first question. Data Patterns India Private Limited handed over the indigenously developed checkout system to the Indian Space Research Organization for which mission? So the most important thing here is the ISRO and this checkout system. The company is not important, that is the Data Patterns Private Limited. So what is this checkout system? Checkout system is used for performing health checks on all cable harness assemblies used in the crew model of this mission, and name of this mission is Gaganyaan, which is set to be launched in 2020 or 2023, but the main year is 2022. You have to remember, because ISRO declared that we will launch this Gaganyaan mission in 2022. So you can see here, data partners deliver indigenously checkout system to the ISRO for the Gaganyaan mission, and Gaganyaan mission is the India's first human space flight program, which will be launched at Chennai in 2022-23. And checkout system is used for performing health checks on all the cable harness assembly used in a crew model of the Gaganyaan mission. So it means it will help to maintain the health of the cable wires. So guys, remember, and remember about the other missions which are basically included in the options, like Chandrayaan 3. It will be launched in 2022, and it is a lunar lander rover mission, or you can say it is a mission under which lander and rover and a propulsion model to attempt soft landing of the lunar surface. Next is the Aditya L1. It is a first Indian solar coronagraph, or you can say the sun mission or the solar system mission. Next is the Mangalyaan 2, or you can say it is again will be launched in 2024. It is a Mars Orbiter mission 2, or you can say MOM2. So very important is the Aditya L1. It will be launched in 2022, and it is the first solar chronograph mission. So this is very important. It is the first sun mission by the India, Aditya L1. Now moving to next question, but you have to remember about ISRO. ISRO was established in which year? So guys, you have to tell me, ISRO was established in which year? ISRO was established in 1969. And who is currently the head of ISRO? ISRO's head is K. Sivan. And where is the headquarters? Headquarters is in Bengaluru. So remember these things. Moving to next section, it is the one-liner important point. Here is the first point, that India and United States launch US-India Artificial Intelligence Initiative. So not so much important, but you have to just remember that India signed or an initiative for the improvement of the artificial intelligence with the United States of America. Or in simple word, you can say that this initiative will enhance the science and technology relationship between India and United States to solve problem of both the countries. It means just to enhance the technological level of India. Next, government considers to set up an Ayush Export Promotion Council to boost global trade. So the main program is just to boost the export of the Ayush products, and this is launched by the Union Minister Piyush Goyal and Ayush Minister Shripad Yeso Naik ji. So it was jointly decided that both ministries will work together to boost the export of the Ayush products. So remember this, it is just to improve the Ayurveda products. Next, COVID-19 crisis, best opportunity for the transition from fossil fuel to the renewable energy, and it is a report of the IRENA report. So remember this organization, IRENA, IRENA, it stands for International Renewable Energy Agency. And where is the headquarters? Headquarters is in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. So according to this report, that during COVID-19 crisis, when the fossil fuel level is so much low, like consumption level of the fossil fuels is very much low, we can convert this fossil fuel into a renewable energy. So it is a very important to transition from the fossil fuel to the renewable energy, and India target of renewable energy is 175 gigawatt till the year of 2022 and 450 gigawatt till the year of 2030. Next, UNCTAD expects India's GDP to be contracted by 6.9% in 2020 and grow 5% in 2021. So it is just a report of UNCTAD. What is the meaning of this UNCTAD? It means that United Nations Conference on Trade and Organization, or you can say Trade and Development. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, and how many countries are member? 195 countries are member, and it was established in 1964 by the United Nations General Assembly. So just remember 6.9% contraction. It means minus 6.9% in the financial year 2020-21 and grow by the 5% in 2021-22. Next, former minister, BJP leader Dilip Gandhi passed away at the age of 69. So you can remember just the by name, that is the Gandhi, and full name is the Dilip Kumar Mansukhlal Gandhi. And he was former Union Minister of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and he was passed at the age of 69 in Delhi. He was tested positive for the COVID-19, so that's why he died in Pune, Maharashtra. He was also the member of parliament for the 3 terms, and first time he was elected in 1999. And his constituency was in Maharashtra, Ahmednagar constituency of Maharashtra. He was also re-elected as a member of Lok Sabha in 2009 and 14. He was Union Minister of State, Ministry of Shipping from 2003 to 4. Now, moving to next question, and it is the air quality management panel to set up partner with. We discussed this question so many times. You have to just remember that for the improvement of air quality, especially in the North Capital region, Union government formed the Air Quality Commission, and this commission is headed by M.M. Kuti. So remember this. Now we are moving to the question of the day, and question of the day was of the 19th March 2021 was polio is caused by. So very simple question and very simple answer. Polio is caused by virus, so that's why it is known as the polio virus. So moving to next question, and it is the question of the day. Question of the day is, which of the following periodical is not correctly matched with its editor? It means who is not the editor of the newspaper. So you have to just tell me not correctly match. So guys, only comment in the comment box. So please provide 700 plus likes, and please subscribe this channel. Please press the bell button so that you can receive the notification on time, and it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness sections. And it is my personal promise that if you're watching the videos regularly and if you are reading the current affairs from the PDFs, then your current affairs section will definitely go strong. And guys, please download our application, that is Careers Cloud Learn to Lead, and you can download with very simple method, like you have to go to the description box. We put a link in the description box. You can download from that link, and we are providing 1 year and 2 year subscription, and prices are very much low, and on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount. If you use this code ASH10, then you will get definitely 10% extra discount. So don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.